My twin flame process was activated 8 years ago, and although so much has happened since then, I keep returning to the very beginning, to the time just before and just after the activation. I feel that something essential is hidden there, that there is a key in that early period, and that to the extent we manage to bring light to it, the rest of the journey may begin to make more sense. That first phase, at least in my experience, was filled with symbols. Symbols that, over time, kept changing their meaning. It feels as though, instead of moving only forward from that moment, I have also been moving backward toward it, or perhaps alongside it on a parallel path. The level of wonder is difficult to describe. So much of it lives in feeling itself, in events that unfolded partly in the three-dimensional world and partly elsewhere, on the astral plane, in parallel realities, other dimensions, and even past lives. 2 years before the activation, I did a twin flame meditation. At the time, I didn't even believe in twin flames. Yet during that meditation, I learned that my twin flame was incarnated on Earth, and I made an agreement about a sign that would appear when we met. I completely forgot about that sign, but when we finally did meet, I remembered because the sign was there. Just before the activation, I attended 4 seminars and was in an exceptionally high vibrational state. I often wonder how much that influenced what followed. My twin flame and I had known each other online for 14 years before we met in person. Why didn't we meet during all those years, or even somewhat later? At that time, I was also listening to and reading coaches such as Leora, El Hari, and Kurt. They spoke about how, after a beautiful initial period, a collapse and immense suffering often follow. That is exactly what happened in my process as well. Back then, it felt like just another confirmation of the twin flame journey. But later, I began to ask myself, why does this pattern exist at all? In my experience, one day was absolutely perfect, and the next was completely dark. There was no gradual buildup, no slow development of conflict like in other relationships. In twin flame processes, the shifts are often instantaneous. One day, total perfection. The next, total chaos. Is there a way for this not to happen? Should the divine feminine be the strongest not only in the light, but also in the darkness? Many questions come to me. They don't necessarily demand answers. They exist for contemplation. Could it be that the early period, mine and perhaps yours as well, holds a secret we are meant to uncover? Life after activation, after awakening, is never the same. It feels as though we have reached a new level of the game, and the old one has been permanently closed to us. There must be reasons why we crossed that threshold at that exact moment. In my case, life at the time felt perfect. I had achieved all the goals I wanted to achieve. There was a strange sense that there was nothing left to do but wait to die. And yet, I was not at an age for dying, nor was it my time. So instead, an entirely new life began. Before the event that led to the first separation, there were 7 days during which my twin flame and I saw each other constantly. Later, I learned that the number 7 carries deep meaning. 7 levels in alchemy, among many other symbolic systems. At the time, those days felt much longer. Each one felt like an eternity. Each carried its own symbolism and layers of meaning. Only later, while writing my book, did I realize that in the three-dimensional world, there were exactly 7 days. From the activation to the collapse, 4 months passed. But those final 7 days were of extraordinary intensity. And if I am right, if there truly is a secret hidden in those first days and months after activation, then perhaps illuminating it could help us understand the entire twin flame process more clearly.